Hello, coolers. Welcome back to Viva Barca and welcome to the home of everything Barcelona, where we are going to be discussing on the latest stories, starting with Kessie, as Barcelona have just officially announced that the midfielder have been sidelined with a hamstring injury and could be out for about 10 days. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Then secondly, talking about this report claiming that referees explained to Barcelona's dressing room for denied penalty yesterday against Inter Milan. We are going to be discussing on the referee's explanation after the controversial game yesterday night. So guys, before we get right into it, please do ensure to subscribe if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch right up to the very end. The injury worries continue to mount for Barcelona as the club have confirmed Kessie is the latest player to be put on the treatment tables. As per the official announcement issued by the club, the Ivorian midfielder is suffering from a strain in his right hamstring and is currently out, with his recovery determining the timeline of his return. First-team player Kessie has a right hamstring strain. He is low and his evolution will mark his availability, Barca's statement read. The past couple of weeks have been absolutely torrid for Barcelona with regards to injuries. It started with Memphis Depay, Frenkie de Jong and Jules Koundé getting injured on the first match day of the international break. Soon after, Ronald Araujo was also injured, while Hector Bellerin sustained an injury during training at the club. On Tuesday night, FC Barcelona lost Andres Christensen to an ankle injury, with the Dane expected to be out for a month. Now, Kessie has joined the list of casualties at Spotify Camp Nou, with the club confirming that he has sustained a strain in his right hamstring. As iterated earlier, the club have not confirmed any specific timeline for the midfielder's recovery. But given the fixture schedule ahead of us, the development comes as a big blow for Xavi and co. Javi Miguel is reporting that the midfielder could be out of action for 7 to 10 days. Kessie arrived at Barcelona this past summer, joining as a free agent after his contract with AC Milan expired. However, the 25-year-old has not been used regularly by Xavi, with the manager preferring to, the Terrifica of Pedri, Gavi and Sergio Busquets, with Frenkie de Jong the next on the list. While the club might be losing Kessie, there is some good news as de Jong has returned to team training and is close to making a comeback, which will be a boost. There is no denying of the fact that we are currently going through a very tough period. Just shortly prior to the international break, Barca were picking up form, winning games convincingly. At least we're doing well, apart from the loss against Bayern, which was the only disappointing game for all of us Barca fans, even though we played well in that Bayern game. After the international break, it seemed as though it was just all about ill luck for Barca. The international break came to just give us ill luck. Everything was bad. Like one night, you see every Barca player in their various country getting injured on international duty. I mean, this is something that is disturbing, right? So the international break, it is fair to say, have not done any good for Barcelona this time around. Yesterday, we disappointingly lost to Inter Milan in a game that we needed to win. We knew how the dynamics of this group is. Of course, a group regarded by everyone as a group of death in the Champions League this season. But we still went ahead. After losing to Bayern 2-0 the other week, we lost this game, which was a disappointment. And what even added the frustration in this game was the kind of decisions that we saw yesterday, which was hilarious, which was criminal, seeing the kind of decisions from the match officials. So it's just terrible. And adding more salt to the wounds for Barca, injuries continue to pile up. As if it wasn't enough seeing about 4 players getting injured while playing for their countries last week in international duty, Kessie, Andres Christensen picked up injuries again. So it's just like everything is bad luck for Barcelona, which is just so sad to see. It was a frustrating evening yesterday for all the Barca fans. And definitely as a fan, and all of us as fans, we can't accept another Europa League this time around. Looking at the kind of summer that we had, looking at the kind of recruitment Barca went through to bring those top-class players, you can't expect us I don't think Xavi will have any second chance. I don't think Laporta should give manager Xavi another chance. If we qualify for the Europa League, we are a laughingstock. We are bullied by Bayern. What does that mean? It's a big shame. You cannot be Barcelona and you are afraid of Bayern. How are they going to look at us? It's going to be a disgrace. And I don't think there's any second chance for Xavi because the investment, the debt Barca went through just to ensure that these players are bought so that we can compete for trophies without any transition. It's going to be devastating if we don't qualify for the knockout stages. So let's see how it's going to be like. Now, talking about Frank Kessie's injury, it's just so bad to hear Frank Kessie injured. And of course, he played decent yesterday. Most fans were unhappy with Xavi that why wouldn't you even start Frank Kessie in the game and you're putting Gavi all the time. Some people will go as far as saying that Xavi is so partial. He likes only his compatriot, whatever. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, Xavi is the one to be blamed. At the end of the day, he is the manager. He takes the responsibilities. So let's see how it goes. Inter Milan next week again at the Camp Nou, a must-win game. If we want to have any confidence, any hope of qualifying, we must win all our 3 games. Then moving on to the next story of discussion. On Tuesday night, Barcelona succumbed to an unforeseen 1-0 defeat to Inter Milan in the Champions League at San Siro, while suffering a second successive loss in Europe after certainly a talking point. Another headline was how a blatant handball committed by Denzel Dumfries late into that clash was not deemed as a penalty for the visitors. Despite VAR taking a close look at the call initially going in Inter's favor, the second viewing also seemed the host as faultless in what seemed like a stonewall penalty. After the contest, the referee was quizzed by Barcelona about the reasoning behind why they were not awarded a penalty. He said, VAR told me it wasn't a penalty, but no reason to justify the decision was explained, he said, as relayed by journalist Santiago Valle. Ultimately, this is an indictment on VAR as a whole, which was understandably divided opinion since its introduction in European football. As a result, Xavi, of course, was openly distraught about the late call in his post-match interview, saying, I'm angry. The referees should come out and explain their decisions because we don't understand anything. I asked the referee to explain his decision after the match and he refused. So what we live today is injustice. In Barcelona's previous Champions League encounter against Bayern Munich as well, they were not handed a penalty after Ousmane Dembele was quite clearly fouled inside the box. However, one must confess that the fact that Dumfries failed attempt at heading the ball out of danger, in what led to technically accidental handball was not seen as a clear-cut decision is alarming poor officiating. Barcelona must pretend the decision never happened and strive to ensure they eventually secure qualification for the last 16. So guys, with that we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.